Now we're talking 4,300 years ago. He was in charge of Aswan as a southern border. Usually the governor of Aswan has to be someone trustworthy because it's a border state. And as it is a border state today, it was a border state in the days of the Pharaoh. It seemed that this Harkov made an exploration on behalf of the king. And he ventured the darkness of Africa. It's hard really to tell, how far he went, but when he came back, he came with certain kind of merchandise, certain kind of spices that the Egyptians never knew, certain kind of plants that they never see in the weather of Egypt, and also he brought a pygmy with him. And he brought this pygmy, hunted this pygmy, or bought this pygmy somewhere in Africa, and he recorded his exploration on the wall of his tomb in the mountain in Aswan. So this is the oldest recorded exploration trip that was done by an Egyptian official in the ancient times. So we see that there was great interest in those days. And then we see that in the Middle Ages, the Pope was interested, in sending, people to go and to explore. And maybe the very famous exploration is Richard Burton and John Speck, when they explored, the White Nile. And then, James Bruce in 1770, a Scotsman who wanted to do something big, and he decided to explore the Blue Nile. To explore the Blue Nile, he made a journey through Egypt. And we believe that he's the first white man to get into the Valley of the Kings. And we believe that he is the one that probably discovered the tomb of Ramesses III. The interesting thing about this James Bruce, that he was a tall man. He was close to 7 foot. Really, really big, red head, Scotsman. And when he arrived to Ethiopia, they were very much impressed. They saw the white man for the very first time. So they considered him a god. With his red hair, tall, white complexion, and they built him a shrine. This man, James Bruce, he went back and he told the story, to the Geographic Society, and they did not believe, what he saw, and they didn't believe his story, and he wasn't really given the honor that he should. Although the man suffered a lot because he contracted a kind of disease in Africa, a kind of worm that used to circulate in his blood. And it is said that this worm can be seen in his eye as it goes, and travels in his blood. And accordingly, he died, in his late 40s, in ignominy, because the story wasn't believed. Amelia Edwards. Amelia Edwards came to Egypt and made a journey like yours on her own. A lady with a friend, and she arrived to Egypt on a toss of a coin, really, on the spur of the moment. She was looking for some place warm to spend the winter. It was the winter of 1873, 1874. She arrived to Alexandria. From Alexandria to Cairo. In Cairo, she hired the Dahabiya, and you will probably be able to see many of these Dahabiya. It's a boat with cabins, 6 cabins, or 8 cabins, or 4 cabins, and it has a sail. That was the way that people can afford it in the 19th century with travel. And then she made a journey from Cairo the whole way to Aswan and back, and she wrote a book. A very interesting read, 1,000 miles up the Nile. She is the one that established the very first seat for Egyptology. She found out, we don't know about Egypt. We should have known about this country before. She'd been to these temples, even before knowing the meaning of these temples. She made sketches herself. Her book is a wonderful read. The 1,000 miles up the Nile by Amelia Edwards. She's not only giving a good description of the Nile and the surrounding, but also and the monument, but also giving a very nice description for the people that she met along the road.